On this week's episode, will we soon be playing a video game on Peloton?
And is there a new community challenge that we all get to participate in? And much, much more.
Welcome to Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. Here are your hosts, Amanda Siegel and John Pruitt.
Welcome to episode 46 of Pelo Buddy TV, a show for the Peloton community by the Peloton community. I'm Amanda Siegel and I'm joined by my co-host John Pruitt. Hey, John.
Hey now, Amanda, long time.
Yeah, welcome back to you. Welcome back. We missed you. We had a very gracious Tony Sinkinson try and fill your shoes last week. He was definitely a little bit overwhelmed with the thought of filling your shoes. I told him he has his own shoes to fill, but that was really nice of Tony to jump on. And I think he did an awesome job. Did you get an opportunity to watch the show last week, John?
I did. Hats off to Tony for the last minute substitution when I realized I wasn't going to be returning home from vacation up North Michigan until Saturday. I thought I was coming back Friday, but
in time to record.
We all found out.
Worries.
And it was great. It was great watching and listening to the show because I'll be honest, I don't like to watch or listen to myself. I'm just very overcritical. It just, I just look at like how I just watch or listen to myself and I think how I could have done it differently or made it better or why did I say that? So it was fun being able to listen to the show and not have that aspect of, listening to myself and thinking, oh God, what am I doing? Why do I sound this way? Or And the interview with Miza was great too. When the recovery story from, was it a marathon? Triathlon, right? She's into triathlon.
Yeah. She had been training for triathlon and she slipped. I mean, crazy story.
Yeah, and it's spending 6 months basically in a dark room from that. Yeah, that just sounds wild.
Yeah, she's lovely and she's very active on the on the Australian Peloton community platform. So it's fun. I'm looking forward to seeing them definitely build up momentum and hopefully hopefully start watching the show too, as we'll always throw in some Australian news when we can. So it's been fun. Yeah, so I am back in Maryland. I had an awesome week on the West Coast. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, as I got to spend just my last few weeks with my youngest before she heads off to college. So it's been fun. But I've said this 1,000 times, being able to take the platform with you wherever you go is just phenomenal. Stick your earpods in and go for a run. I did so much running and I really enjoyed it. So it was awesome. It was awesome. But yeah, John, before we get started with the show, we do like to always let you guys know and remind you how you can keep up to date with all of our content across all of our platforms. Every episode is released on our YouTube channel, so just hit the subscribe button on the right-hand side of the video and hit the notify button to make sure that you never miss an episode.
And if you prefer to listen to us in traditional podcast format, we're on all platforms. Just search Pelo Buddy TV. Click subscribe, also click notifications so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review if you like what you hear, how we can improve the show, suggestions, maybe for an upcoming guest. We would love to hear from you. We also got a really nice review just recently that I'll read a little bit of, and this comes from Amanda, and it says, not you, Amanda.
Why not?
It says, this by far is my go-to on all things Peloton. I've followed them on Instagram since early December, but started listening to their podcast mid-January from episode 1, even though I knew most of it. I didn't want to chance of missing out on something, especially with their sound. And I love John and Amanda's banter. Don't stop being you. It's a podcast, and we are there to listen to you tell your stories. I enjoy and love to follow the members in the community with Pelo chats when they occur, but mostly your picks of the week. And she is KLK tag 00 is her leaderboard name
I
from
know. What a
Amanda.
lovely
Thank you for that.
interview.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really cool interview, a really cool review, a really cool review. And we really do like those. So definitely, yeah, I think John's right. If you can take the time just to pop something in there and let us know what you think, it makes it more fun for us. And we just want to do better for you each week. So yeah, so that is true. And of course, guys, we're on Facebook and Instagram. So please don't hesitate to follow us along there so that you are up to date. And remembering that our show at the end of the week really just pulls out all those news stories that Pelo Buddy share with you. And you get to see John and I, our beautiful mugs, or hear our voices in sharing those stories with you. Yes, I saw that roll eye, John. But I guess, folks, it's now time to get on with the show.
First, let's do a rundown of the latest Pelo news.
Well, to kick it off, Amanda, will we soon be playing video games on our Peloton bike? It soon looks like that will become a reality, as apparently Peloton is beta testing a new video game for the Bike and Bike Plus called Lanebreak. And what Peloton has shared about it, they were quoted as saying it's a rhythm-based game on the Bike and Bike Plus rooted in something core to Peloton's DNA, music. So members are challenged to match and sustain the resistance or cadence according to the cues on the bike tablet to get the highest score possible, which they then can compare with other members, and you basically have a virtual racetrack. And to me, this sounds like it should be called Pelotron, because it looks like the arcade game Tron, as if you're on a light cycle. So I would like to see, I want to get some credit. If that catches on, Pelotron, I want to get full credit for that. So, I'm getting a big head by saying I'm coining that phrase, but I have not read it or seen it anywhere else.
It.
So
I like it. I
Pelotron.
think it's awesome, and I think it does look like that. I think that's really cool.
It's supposedly not coming until early 2022, but apparently there's about 1,000 people beta testing it right now. So it just sounds like it sounds like another fun diversion. I know I can get burnt out on just doing rides all the time, and it can get a little monotonous. And we have the scenic stuff, but this is just another value add, in my opinion.
I agree. I think it's wonderful. And I think I've definitely seen some buzz being that folks are kind of looking forward to it. It's, as you said, it's something different. And
totally
it gives,
different.
A competitive edge to it in a different way in keeping up with the cadence and resistance that they're going to require from you. So I actually think it's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to it.
And it really ties into a lot of the hiring that Peloton has been doing on the technical and engineering side, specific engineers who specialize in gaming. So it seems like they're really attracting the top talent for this. So I'm sure we will get, a really good finished product once assuming it fully rolls out.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think that will be something really cool to look out for. Switching gears a little bit, Peloton again are looking out to take care of everybody. And this time they've actually partnered with United Healthcare. It's a real cool benefit for United Healthcare subscribers. They're actually offering a free year's worth of Peloton membership for select United Healthcare folks. So it's not a blanket benefit that folks can get if they have United Healthcare. It would be for select members, but they would be able to get a full year subscription. And the offer begins on September the 1st. And for those signing up for the digital membership, as I said, they'll get an entire year free. Those folks that already have a bike or a tread will actually be given 4 months worth of an all access membership. It's actually offered, John, not only for those folks that already have it, but if you're looking to purchase a bike or a tread and you have United Healthcare and are one of those select members, you too would be eligible for those 4 free months. So, I mean, a wonderful way of keeping United members healthy and fit. And clearly, the healthier and fitter their subscribers are, the less they're having to pay out in claims.
Yeah.
So,
Smart.
yeah, I mean, what a clever, absolutely. United Healthcare did put out a press release that stated, and I will quote, many Americans are turning to on-demand exercise options to help improve their fitness and bolster their overall well-being. And this first of its kind partnership with Peloton will provide millions of our members with an important resource to help them along their journey toward a healthier lifestyle. This was a quote from Philip Kaufman, who is the senior vice president. He went on to say that expanding access to Peloton's industry-leading health and wellness community builds upon our commitment to developing digital health resources and consumer-centric benefits to help help our providers and our people live healthier lives. So I think that is truly phenomenal that they have partnered with such a large healthcare company. And we're all quick to bash our healthcare companies because our deductibles are so high and our copays are so this, and so it is really nice to see that there is a benefit. And my understanding is United is one of the largest healthcare providers out there. So I was really excited to see that, and I know there was a lot of buzz out there from folks wanting to participate. So good for them.
I was really excited as well for a minute, thinking I still had United Healthcare, and then I looked in my wallet at my old healthcare card, and I have Aetna.
It's so funny that you say that. No, John, it's so funny that you said that because I was exactly the same way. We had United and we switched to Cigna. And I went back to Mark and I said, seriously? I mean, just this year we switched to Cigna. And he was like, I know, I'm sorry. So I said, but that's a nice, I'm not very good at math. What's $40 times 4? 120?
160?
160. 160. So that's a nice savings. And certainly for those folks in digital getting the full year. So I hope that folks do take advantage of that and build up community membership, because that's pretty much what they're doing.
Speaking of community, I mean, that's really Peloton's goal, to convert these digital subscribers to full-fledged members with, the bike or the tread. So they're smart. They're very
brilliant.
I got to hand it to them. They're very calculated and
impressive that they have that foresight to see the end product and what'll bring folks in. So 100%.
Well, speaking of community, we have a just announced new Peloton Community Challenge. And I was just checking before we started recording, Amanda, and right now, as a whole, the whole Peloton community has done I'm sure it's grown since then, over 68,000 hours across all Peloton workout platforms. So rather than awarding badges based on your personal progress, the new Peloton Community Challenge 2021 will base the rewards based on how many hours the entire Peloton community as a whole works out. So from July 23rd to August 8th, this challenge takes place. You have to opt in. So you're not just automatically enrolled. So you got to go on your bike, your tread, the website or the app, and actually go to challenges and join it. But what it will do is the challenge, it'll track your workout time across any workout type on any device, July 23rd, August 8th. So it doesn't matter what equipment you're using, if you're using any equipment at all. You just simply take any workout on Peloton and all your minutes and hours will count towards the overall community goal. Like I said, you got to opt in. And this seems to be obviously replacing Peloton last summer, which I think kicked off that big challenge that, divided people into teams based on the instructors that were on those different teams, which I had a lot of fun with. I don't know about you, Amanda.
Loved it. I loved it. For those newbies watching the show, that was something that was fabulous last year. So it's kind of good in the way they're engaging us.
Yeah, this sounds fun. I was hoping they would bring Peloton back because I really got into shit talking and, updating my profile picture with the little Legends of Fun background, and posting here and there. It was fun going back and forth with, I know a lot of people.
What I liked about that, John, was that it gave you an opportunity to work out with some of the instructors you wouldn't typically work out with.
Exactly.
And that's what I liked about Peloton. I mean, there were folks there that I would probably never have. I mean, that was how I discovered Ross Rayburn.
That's how I discovered Eric Yeager, because he was on Legends of Fun, and that was kind of like my excuse to try him out.
Yeah. So, but again, I think it's fun to just mix it all up and to do something different, and this will be fun. Yeah. And for those of you that are looking to rack up those hours and minutes and everything else that you do on there, Sessions looks like it's going to be here to stay. The feature is now permanent from what we can see. It was beta tested, as we had reported previously. It looks like it is now out of the beta testing phase and will be, in fact, something that looks like it's going to be staying. Just this past week, we saw a new design pop up with an icon on both the bike and the tread. There's now a little blue icon in the bottom right-hand side of the class, which would denote whether that is a Sessions class or not, and whether one can jump on to do it as a session. So, interesting. I think that there's some folks that love the concept. Funny enough, I'm not one that really adopted to it, because what you can't see, I like to ride, if I'm doing an on-demand class, and I typically try and ride live as much as I can, but if I'm doing an on-demand class, I like to ride with people that I follow. So people that have ridden before, and I know who my people are, that I can kind of, what I mean? Yeah. So I'll do all time people that I follow. And when you do sessions, it's only those people that are on that session. So for those of you folks that have not done a session before, basically what it is, it's taking an on-demand class and for the most part, making it live. I mean, it's not live because obviously the instructor isn't there and then.
Live leaderboard.
Correct.
So
live. Thank you, John. Thank you.
Everybody in that session starts the class at the same time. So it's basically like you're racing people in an on-demand class, and you're all at the same starting point, basically.
But if you like to compete with the people that you're used to competing with, they're not going to show up because it is only those folks that are live at that time. So anyway, I guess we'll see where it is, but it looked pretty on the bike when it popped up, and there were these little blue, these little blue dots, and you knew which, and it seems to be far more of these rides and runs are in fact now in a sessions. I think it has to be more than 10 minutes. I think it's from a 15-minute class, if I'm not mistaken. 20-minute class, 20-minute class. Yeah,
thanks, control room.
That would offer us an opportunity to do a session. So
it's funny. Yeah. It's funny how you said in the sessions you can't filter the leaderboard by all time to see anyone at all, or people who you follow who have taken the class previously and their final output. So that bugs me in sessions because I'm super competitive, so I don't know if like a buddy, I don't know if I'm smoking him or if I need to, pick it up. Like I can't see where I'm at, when I do an on-demand class. I go to all time and I'll go to who I'm following and be like, okay, I need to pick up the pace. He's ahead of me right now. I can't have that.
That is hysterical.
Because I'm that dick in an on-demand ride where I'll see there's a minute left. I'll go to all time. I'll see who I'm following. I'll be like, oh, I'm only 2 KJ output away from this person, and I'll just start flying at the very end.
You know what? It's not. I have to agree. I mean, I'm clearly not as strong as you are, but I do that as well. And there are folks on there that sometimes I look at and think, I can't have they have a better output than me. And I'm embarrassed to say that there was just this morning I was doing an on-demand, and I saw somebody that could not have had a better output than me. And I pushed myself. That descending recovery was a full-out workout. Full disclosure, folks. Full disclosure.
We're going off on a tangent a bit, but I will say that for the record, I'm not usually sprinting during the descending recovery or cool down of a ride. If I see some jabroni sprinting trying to get ahead of me, then I turn it up. Because I say to myself, no, that's not happening on this ride.
It is funny how we do make it competitive. I mean, for me, sometimes it's also personal goals. Like I'll see if I want to get to a certain mileage. You know, if I know that in in a 30 minute I can get to, or I'm gonna. Well, no, I haven't come close to a PR in way too long. That's a whole nother discussion for a whole nother episode, which I'm very frustrated about. But I'll keep on riding, keep on getting stronger, and just accept what I see on the leaderboard on the side.
Just keep on keeping on.
Exactly.
All right. So what else do we have? Well, we have a live DJ Debbie Gibson themed ride with Emma Lovewell, DJ John Michael. It just happened on Friday night. July 23rd. I actually caught a little bit of Emma was on Instagram Live with Debbie Gibson just the other day, talking about it. Apparently, I didn't know Debbie Gibson lived in Las Vegas full time, but she was sitting right in front of her Peloton bike, so you could see it in the background there. And they shared that there'll be an exclusive remix during the ride of one of Debbie's new songs called One Step Closer. Which will actually debut in the ride. And it was remixed. It was done by Peloton, our own DJ John Michael, along with DJ Scribble. And the track will be exclusive to Peloton for 1 month. So you won't hear it anywhere else. And
wow.
And this is the second time Peloton has had an exclusive music release on their platform. At the end of 2020, you might remember Peloton released some exclusive Elvis Presley remixes on the Peloton platform, and Emma had also taught a Elvis ride not too long ago.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
I remember Debbie. I mean, I'm aging myself, but Debbie Gibson certainly was somebody that I used to listen to, as a teenager. And she's
trying to think what was her big hit.
I can never remember names.
There's one song. It escapes me. I'm surprised.
She's fun. So
no one in the control room, I guess, is a Debbie Gibson fan. It's pretty quiet in my ear.
It'll be interesting to see that. So I'll definitely jump on that. Definitely, I wasn't able to do it on Friday, but I will definitely jump on that.
The live DJ rides. If you've never done a live DJ ride, they're super fun. It's you just kind of you have to lower your expectations because it's not a typical ride. You've got John Michael. He's now further off to the side. Normally he'd be right next to them on the bike, which hopefully that configuration will return. But it's just fun. You got to kind of think of it like a party. It's not a hit ride. It's not a super intense. It is what you make of it, but. It's Friday night. It's a party, so if you do it live, that's why I love the ones with Cody and John Michael, just because they're such good friends. They laugh and banter off each other. But I've done a few of Jess King's,
and I've enjoyed them. The Jess King experience with him, and they've been great. So,
I was not initially a fan. This is just one of the things where you got to try a class more than once. Because when I first did a live DJ ride with Cody, it was on demand. So, you didn't have the live element. And I was so distracted. And this is early on. So I don't have the open mind that I have kind of now with respect to the platform and trying new things with Peloton. But I was so distracted by, I knew nothing about John Michael then, but I was so distracted by his arm movements and I told him this in a post. I took a Post-it and I put it over him on the bike tablet. And
hysterical.
And I was so distracted. And I've done that once or twice with distracting studio riders.
Too funny. But, we're learning all things about you today.
Yeah, so I was turned off. So it took a year or so for me to finally try it again, give it another shot, and I loved it. And I think I probably did the class live on a Friday night. But I posted how much I enjoyed it, how fun it was, And I even admitted to putting a Post-it over John Michael's face, and I tagged him in the post, and he commented and he said, "Thanks for giving me another shot." But the reason I bring up that sort of long-winded story was, if you've done a live DJ ride and you hated it, just give it another try.
Yeah.
Especially if it was a different instructor or theme. Like, this one sounds just like pure fun. Yeah, I will definitely for one be doing this ride. I didn't get a chance, Amanda, to do it live, but it sounds like so much fun. So I will definitely be marking that for an upcoming.
Yeah. Me too.
Sure.
I wasn't able to either, and I am looking forward to jumping on it, because, as I said, Debbie Gibson was what I grew up to.
Yeah.
You know, Leanne grew up to the Spice Girls, and I grew up to Debbie Gibson. My age.
I kind of grew up to Debbie Gibson too.
Yeah, you're a little bit younger than I am.
Yeah, I thought you grew up more with Leif Garrett and David Cassidy. I'm
not that old, John. I mean, seriously, am I going to fire you? Do I get permission to fire him? How dare you think David Cassidy?
Aren't you the same age as Jen Sherman? And Jen Sherman.
Yeah, but I'm younger and hipper. I don't know.
Okay, we'll cut that out too.
Let's cut it all out. Talking about that. What I can do, and what we can do as a community, folks, is we can train with champions. And that does continue to grow. And Peloton have really gone all out with it. Tony and I had chatted last week of Usain Bolt's live ride with Hannah Frankson, and how he definitely pushed Bolt on that leaderboard. There's no question. But this week we actually saw a 1-week training program with the world's fastest man and multiple Olympic gold medalist. So Usain Bolt shared with the community a special training program which features custom recorded classes from Bex Gentry, Adrian Williams, and Robin Arzon. The 13 classes take you through what a week's training would be like if you were Usain Bolt. So I think a wonderful way of getting folks excited to be able to train with such an icon like himself. I mean, how fantastic. The program describes itself actually in a way of spending a week training with the legendary sprinter and Peloton member. In the 1-week program, curated alongside Bolt, members will actually be able to build the strength needed to take on the track and run with the best. So Bolt was actually seen back on the leaderboard live with Hannah Frankson, in fact, just this past Friday again. So he started the week out last Friday. Then we got his 1-week training program, and then he was back on the leaderboard on Friday morning. I believe it was a 10 a.m. Eastern class with Hannah Frankson, and folks could ride alongside him again. So curious to see if some of those. You did do it?
I did the 2010s Usain Bolt ride with Hannah Frankson. It was great. And she actually played one of, I didn't know Usain Bolt was a recording artist too. He's got music. And she played one of his songs, and it was actually pretty catchy. I didn't know that either. It was actually pretty catchy. It was like, we're drinking on Friday. It was, I can't remember it now, but it was super catchy. It was stuck in my head for a while after the ride.
And my big question for you, John.
Yeah,
did you beat him on the leaderboard? So how many of you beat him? How many of you guys beat him on the leaderboard? I mean, we know that John probably surpassed him. And hey, Tony Sinkinson, we need to hear from you. Did you beat him this time?
I did beat him, but that's not saying much because he's on a Bike Plus. I'm on a bike. And so that's like apples to orange. Bike Plus is it's totally different feel. And I also noticed one thing. So he's got a private profile, which I'm not gonna give him a hard time. That's his preference. But I did notice recently Peloton has changed something on the bike tablets that when someone's profile was private, you could click on, you could see what cadence and resistance they were at. But now if it's somebody you don't follow and it's a private profile and you happen to click on them on the leaderboard during the class, it doesn't show like their cadence and resistance.
Interesting.
Just kind of an interesting, I just noticed that recently.
Interesting.
Because sometimes there's somebody with like a crazy, like there was a rider today on the Hannah Frankson class, and she was at like 1,000. So obviously something was wrong with her bike because she was at 1,000 output, and she even had repair scheduled, resistance stuck at 100 as her tag. But,
oh, hysterical. Well, good for her. Good for her for acknowledging that.
Yeah. So I went to click because I was just curious to see what and obviously it was a private profile because it didn't tell me the cadence and resistance. I just thought that was interesting now that, when you're in a class live, if someone's private, you don't follow them, you can't see what resistance setting they're currently at or what cadence speed they're at. I thought that was interesting.
I used to jump on doing that and it just frustrated me because if I couldn't, sometimes, and you're right. I mean, what I do wish they would tell you is whether someone is on a bike or a bike plus. I really wish they would tell you that. I mean, you can kind of tell because if the,
you just have to go on the app
right. But you can kind of tell because a lot of the bike people don't have, don't use the Apple Watch. So you don't have the,
heart rate, Strava.
Yeah.
Strava.
The Strive score. Thank you. The Strive score. So
yeah.
you don't see that typically there unless they're using a heart rate monitor and it's linked up. So, but I do wish it would say next to it because it does frustrate me sometimes. And sometimes I'll reach out to people and say, hey, I'm just curious. Do you have a bike or a bike plus? I'm so lame, folks. I'm sorry. I'm not one of those. We'll just leave it to John. I'm not one of those.
Right. After getting some info from our trusty control room, Amanda, it seems like maybe that little change had to do with some of the security updates that Peloton recently implemented in terms of members' privacy concerns.
Good point.
With the leaderboard and I guess people having too much information or harassing other members. I don't know what the reasoning, but obviously if the profile is private, then they don't want their information. They don't want their information
Any
out there.
Information out there makes sense.
Well, speaking of Usain Bolt, Amanda, he is featured in Peloton's newest ad campaign. It just rolled out and it's titled "It's You, That Makes Us," and there's several spots that have already dropped. I saw the main one on YouTube. It's titled "It's You, That Makes You," that makes us rather. But it's basically a 1-minute spot of just a collection of different members working out. It kind of highlights the community aspect of it. At least that's the impression that I got. But there's also 3 other spots currently with some of the athletes that Peloton has partnered with, 30-second spots with Usain Bolt, Allison Felix, and surfer John Florence. Thank you, Chris Lewis. So those are fresh. I would expect to see those, maybe during the Olympics, but I caught them on YouTube, but I'm sure they'll be all over social.
Yeah, I thought the 1-minute one that I saw with the community members was actually really cool. I'm always curious to know, are those really community members or are they actors? I was dying to know that because when they did community members, when they did that one ad campaign, they put the community member's name and their leaderboard name on there. So I'm always curious to know whether they're actors or whether they actually are community members. And if they're community members, why haven't they reached out to us? But that's irrelevant. But it was a cool campaign. It is. And you know what? It is all about community. We've said this, time and time again. Community is what draws us in. It's what makes us motivated to get back on it. It's almost unbelievable how the community has been built around this, these 2 pieces of hardware and this platform.
It's really the sticky key to Peloton's, retention. Because that's to me, that's the special sauce. That's the key ingredient.
It's the special sauce.
What makes it so special?
Yeah, I 100% agree. The interaction, the connection, especially in this past year when so much of that was taken from us, that ability to see friends and be with friends. And I don't know if I have shared this, and I'll throw it in there because I think it's just such a cool story. But there is a Peloton member that I met just a year ago, and she is turning 50 and had tickets to see Usher in Las Vegas, and said, Amanda, I'd love for you to go with me. I have met her once. She's come out to Maryland. She lives in Pennsylvania. I have met her once, and the two of us are heading to Las Vegas next week to see Usher together. And anybody that's not in the Peloton,
have you met in person?
Met once. We met once in person. She was out. She came out to my house. I speak to her every day. And what do we speak about? Peloton. We talk about what rides we're doing, what activities we're going to do. Obviously now we've developed an incredible relationship and friendship, but my family think it's bizarre, and I think it's so normal. It's like, what do you mean? We're going to go together. But that is what it's all about. So yeah, this ad campaign couldn't have come at a better time. It just shows that it is, continuously based on community. And that's what's so, as you said, I love the term you use, the secret sauce. And that's what it is.
Yep. Totally. Well, in other news, we have a couple wedding classes from Allie Love, who I don't know if we've gotten official word if she's getting married this weekend or if she will be married by the time this episode airs. But she did teach 2 wedding-themed classes. I did not do them. She did a 30-minute ride and a 20-minute bar class.
She actually threw in an arms as well. She did a 10-minute strength, which actually I did jump on. Oh. She did because one of the girls Daisy Mack, I interviewed Daisy Mack on the show. Daisy Mack had a milestone. I believe she did, and I don't want to get it wrong, Daisy Mack, I think it was 1,600 strength classes, and she did it with Allie for her wedding. And I guess those that follow Allie a lot, John, all had a tag riding for Allie's wedding. Was it riding for Allie's wedding? Do you remember?
Oh, like Allie's wedding squad, something along those lines.
Something.
Because I just saw it today. I just saw it today on somebody's on the Hannah Frankson ride. Somebody had it.
Yeah. So she did throw in a 10-minute arms as well, which I did do because I want to celebrate Daisy Mack. So
I was gonna do the ride. I couldn't get ready in time to do it, but I was imagining, so when it said wedding celebration, I was thinking it was going to be all these bad wedding DJ songs that like we had on our do not playlist at our wedding, when the band took a break and they would put music on. Like I thought like Brick House was going to be on there. I thought New York, Frank Sinatra, like all those bad wedding songs that I can't stand. I thought it was just going to be, and it was all mainstream. It was Bieber. It was all pop. So I don't know what she did, if she did any fun antics during the ride, but like the playlist was completely current pop. It wasn't any of those like bad songs you hear at
crazy wise.
Yeah,
it was early. Yeah. It was an 8 a.m. ride, if I'm not mistaken, because I did jump on for the arms, which was at 8:45, but it was an 8 a.m. ride, so it was too early, and I was still on California time, so it was too early for me. But it actually was interesting because the arms one, she kind of said, this is kind of as everyone's winding down, and as the party comes to an end, she kind of used that analogy of what the arms was. But so exciting for her. I don't know. I know she's off for a while, right?
Yeah, the next 2 weeks she's not on the schedule. So, maybe she's getting married this weekend. I don't, like, she posted on Instagram like her nails, so it sounds like it's either this weekend or next weekend because obviously she's probably gonna go on a honeymoon. So
I'm sure
maybe we'll be seeing some wedding pics by the time this episode comes out.
So excited. It's
fun.
Just so cool to watch, and I love that they incorporate us in their lives the way that they do, and make those kind of things so public, and because we all care. It's part of that community thing.
We want to kind of feel a part of it in some way, and obviously it's so hard now with the studio still being closed. I definitely am getting jealous seeing people going to visit New York and just running into instructors on the street. The way they're posting all these different interactions, so I'm kind of jealous about that. But I think everybody's with the pandemic, our engagement level is totally shifted now. So
yeah,
it's just that's how it is now. It's just the way it is currently. But
yeah,
it'll be fun. It'll be fun when I was arguing with a friend. I wasn't going to bring this up, but my friend Nicole, who's very opinionated, I've mentioned before, she doesn't think that the studio is going to, she doesn't think it's going to go back to pre-pandemic times, the way Jen Sherman would come in on a Sunday morning, early and just sit down on the couches in the lounge with us and just chat. She doesn't think it's ever going to go back to that. She doesn't think it's going to be, like the pictures after the class. And I was like, dude, we'll get there eventually. I just couldn't imagine
hope that
us.
they do.
Yeah, it might be a little bit different, but we'll get back to that.
Yeah, I hope that they do, because that was
hopeful.
Such a big part. But remember, when pre-pandemic, it was a much smaller community. So, who knows?
True.
And I guess, already think about when you first started going to the studio to what it was like in 2019, in the beginning of 2020, when they had security guards and they had, before, as opposed to them just kind of rocking up and, as you said, Jen sitting on the sofa with everybody. And then it kind of shifted to having the security guards walk them in. And, I'll never forget that one thing that you posted where Carly had come into a class and Jen
Jen's daughter,
screamed, and Jen's daughter, and Jen had screamed. And she was like, "Don't worry, it's my daughter." She kind of said to the security guard.
Yeah.
So, it already had started shifting. So I guess we'll wait and see. We just have to be patient, and whatever we get, I'll enjoy. And I just hope we do, because the studio is so beautiful that I really do hope that they give us an opportunity to at least get back in there to be able to ride. It's going to be almost impossible to get a bike, but hopefully we'll be able to do that yet again.
Well, it was interesting.
Shifting.
Sorry. One other tidbit. We're doing stories today, I guess. The last time I rode, late February of 2020 at the old 23rd Street studio, after a ride with Dennis, I was in the front row for, I think it was a classic rock ride. We went to go take pictures, the security details hanging out there. And I think in 2019 during homecoming weekend, he and I, took a picture in front of the desk before they created that designated picture space in the old studio in that corner. But we gave I gave him this big bear hug where our arms were wrapped around each other, this tight embrace, and he's cracking up and we're both laughing. So I went to recreate that picture, and security was like, "No, you got to respect the instructor's personal space. You can't." And I was like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to break you. this is my buddy Dennis."
Yeah.
But they're all over that, and I'm sure when the studio reopens, we won't be able to do that, but.
Yeah, folks. So in previous episodes, I have made it quite apparent that I love the meditation feature that Peloton offers members. And this past week, Ross Rayburn, who happens to be one of my favorites, as I mentioned earlier on, and I discovered him through Peloton last year, posted on his Instagram about a recent meditation that he did highlighting empathy. The class was taught on July the 15th, and Ross admits that he doesn't particularly steer members towards a particular meditation because everybody likes something different, right? Especially when you're doing a meditation. But he said that this one was a meditation that he had learned from one of his teachers, and that while empathy may not be his most valued quest, it is very much near the top. He goes on to say that he believes that empathy is so important, especially at a time like this. And he hopes that this particular meditation does serve his members well. So, I've been a huge proponent for meditation, and I'm going to pop that into my picks of the week again. So definitely try that, folks, if you haven't.
Well, Ross is my go-to for meditation. I did plenty of them while I was on vacation last week, and I think pretty sure I did that empathy one as well.
Yeah, it was a good one. So while we kind of mentioned it briefly last week in the episode, this past week, there was a Good Morning America ABC segment, which did feature a story of a new couple who have filed a lawsuit against Peloton regarding the tread. So we'd mentioned that there was a lawsuit last week, and then of course this week it did actually come to the forefront where this couple was in fact interviewed. The couple did share how their toddler was severely injured by the treadmill when their son was actually over at a family friend's home. The couple, Sarah and Yigal Sadoum, do not in fact own Peloton hardware themselves, but they spoke to ABC after their 4-year-old had suffered from third-degree burns. At this time, there have been reportedly about 24 families that have in fact had children that have been hurt. And of course, we all know about the tragic death of one child. The interview did acknowledge John Foley's initial responses to the claims. And of course, we all know that the tread was recalled, with members having the ability to return their treads for a full refund. I have no doubt, folks, that we will continue to hear stories as time moves on and people come to the forefront with their lawsuits. But it is just, whilst it's sad, Peloton certainly have acknowledged that this was an issue. They took action. I think what they've offered folks is more than fair. And, it just does sadden me when we continue to see these lawsuits, these types of lawsuits surface.
Well, it's crazy to think third-degree burns from I assume it was a tread plus, but just, that sort of injury, how it could cause something like that. But I would imagine getting pulled under and then those rubber slats constantly
kind of going,
moving around.
Yeah, and it didn't say, John, it didn't actually say exactly when it happened. I'm assuming that it happened pre passcode, pre the fact that we had to put in a passcode, because it's tread lock. It's almost impossible to get on that tread anymore because the time span is so short where that tread switches off. It's so quick, almost to the point now, and I'm going to say it, but I'm not going to say it, frustrating. But again, I would much rather have the ability to know that my tread is safe from anybody no one will ever go to, because it's upstairs in my I have an attic room that it's in. But yeah, it's just, the whole thing is just awful. And we all know this. And we just wanted to report it so you guys were aware of what was going on out there.
Yeah. Well, we, changing gears, we have a new Pride gift box that a lot of members have begun to receive in the mail. So random members who took some of the Pride Month classes in June have received these gift boxes with all sorts of goodies. And I was actually trying, could you make out some of the things? Because I looked at the picture that Chris had posted on the Pelo Buddy Insta page, and there was, it was like powder do you know what that was? Do we know what's in this box?
I must be honest, I don't know what was in the box. And truthfully, if anyone's watching the show and you can certainly share with us, we'd love to know what was in there if you got it. I was zooming in.
I couldn't figure it. It looked like some nice things though. I did see something soy extract. I don't know. There's some things in there. So you're getting some swag in the mail.
It's a nice concept.
Yeah, it's fun especially when a lot of different members received those different themed gift boxes around homecoming. But last month, Peloton, they did a similar mailing to certain members who took the Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month themed classes. So it's just fun. They're always thinking, it's just the company is so thoughtful. They're just always looking out for the members, thinking how they can make the community better, increase engagement. Who doesn't love free stuff? Sure. Oh, bath salts. Is that
what it was? Okay.
Bath salt. That's it. I was like, is this a pottery kit? Oh,
that's too funny.
Yeah, I thought it looked like it was clay in a bag. Anyway. Fun. That's fun. I didn't get one, but
no.
But I did get one for homecoming, and you got one too.
I did. I was thrilled. I was thrilled. That was fun.
Well, tell us about some new apparel.
You know, John, it's amazing. I mean, no one can now complain that they can't get stock because we literally see apparel drops every couple weeks. It's been crazy. Jill Foley is on her game with releasing new apparel, and in fact, she was spotted in Brooklyn this past week as
Jen Sherman.
Box. Yeah. Well, she had a couple things.
Yeah.
I do follow Jill. I do follow Jill on Insta, and she doesn't post a lot, but when she does, it's always kind of fun to see what she does, and it's fun to see her with the instructors. But she had maybe an intern and somebody else that she was out there, and they had dropped a box and there was apparel like all over the streets of Brooklyn, which was quite funny to see. Hopefully, so that was funny. But yes, she was doing a shoot with Jen, Alex, and I believe Cody. So I'm sure we're going to see a whole lot of new stuff dropping as well. In this past drop, I got to tell you, John, I didn't love anything, which was a good thing because, you know, how many articles of apparel can you have in your closet?
Seriously,
I am sitting with a few referrals, so I don't know.
I've become, and we had talked about this briefly before we started recording, but I've become super picky now with apparel in terms of using my codes. So if like something's just okay, I'm just probably going to pass. And I've sold some of my apparel on the buy, sell, trade Facebook page. I just sold like a packet of like a group of like 10 t-shirts.
Did you really?
But they have a pretty good resale value.
Yeah, they
Peloton
do.
swag.
They do. Oh, people have made a ton of money. I've never done that because I kind of like going back to my vintage stuff back from 2018 and 19 that I'll pick up, and I like to wear it, and people go, "Oh my gosh, where did you get that from?" So, but yeah, I've become picky too. And the other day I actually did clean out my closet because I was like, this is ridiculous, and I have like 7 black sweatshirts. I mean, when am I ever going to wear
my
them?
hoodie. My hoodie collection. I have maybe 5 or 6 Peloton hoodies, but I probably just like to wear one. That I really like to wear a lot, maybe 2.
So it's kind of it becomes a little redundant with all the stuff. But then I see the instructors wearing it and they look so cute, and it's like, oh, and then I see a member wearing it and I'm like, I want that. But I have become a little bit more strict with myself, and I figured I am only going to get if something is really super special. I will share though that after Leanne's Spice Girl ride, they did come out, not Peloton, but Miami. I'm going to give them a plug here on the show. Miami Footwear came out with a Spice Girls outfit.
Like the one the 2-piece that Leanne was wearing, the British
Union
Jack.
Wasn't quite. It's a Union Jack. The pants are identical. The top is not quite as cool. Leanne's was custom made with leopard print in the back. Yeah. This one is just Union Jack.
Did you ask her who made it for her? I was just curious.
I think Miami Footwear did it. I think
Gotcha.
She did say it was custom. She did say that it was custom, and that it was specially made for her, and that she was literally sewn into it. She had stated on one of our posts that she couldn't move, she couldn't breathe because it had literally been sewn into her. I mean, she looked so spectacular.
Well, I couldn't tell if the leopard print in the shape of the Peloton P, I couldn't tell if that was just sort of like stuck on, like after the fact.
No, they made her, and they even her trainers, even her cycling shoes were custom made. They were the Nike ones, but they had leopard print. I think the Nike was done in leopard print. So they went all out for her with her get up for that ride, and she looked spectacular. Yeah. So I kind of went a little bit off track and decided instead of doing Peloton apparel, I was going to buy that because I know that that's going to be a hot commodity, and folks are going to want to are going to be quite envious when they see me in my Spice Girls outfit.
I will admit this now. I actually have one article of clothing from Miami Footwear, and they are actually leggings, men's leggings.
Interesting.
Or as people in the Boo Crew call meggings, but they're Boo Crew leggings.
Like for the winter time, to wear them in the winter time? Or for running?
I've worn them. No, I kind of like the style, the look. Like Alex Toussaint will wear his shorts, but then leggings under. I kind of like that look. So I need pockets. These don't have pockets, but it'll be fun to rock those when the studio opens, and I can show my Boo Crew pride and love for Cody.
I love it. I love it.
But no, I was saying Miami Fit. They're from Miami Fitwear. They make good stuff. It's
good.
Quality.
Well, I'm looking forward to getting it.
Quality
It's coming
material.
next week.
And
I'm
I know the
tracking
Boo
it.
Crew. Yeah, I know the Boo Crew uses Miami Fitwear for most of their clothing that they put out and sell. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, talking about that, tell us about the instructors. What have you got up first?
Instructors in the news. So speaking of Boo Crew, Cody was recently interviewed in the Evening Standard, and the title of the article is "Meet the Man Who Makes Rishi Sunak Sweat." And did I pronounce that right?
I think you did. Yes.
Okay.
I think you.
Okay. So Rishi Sunak, he's a British politician. He's also a chancellor there. And the article talks about, taking place in his new $1.46 million Brooklyn penthouse, because I love how they love to mention the price whenever his new penthouse is referenced. 1.46.
Too funny.
It went on talking about how Rishi Sunak loves to work out to Cody and sweat to his classes. The 41-year-old said he's a huge fan of Cody Rigsby. He's definitely been my long-term favorite. He said in a recent podcast last month. The author says, I asked Rigsby how he conjures up his one-liners, and he tells me most of them come to him in the moment. And he's always been a chatty Cathy who likes to say things as they come to him unfiltered, but he also keeps a list on his iPhone, on his notes, so that if he's walking around, he'll say something or think of something funny, he'll jot it down, and then he'll interweave it, into a class randomly at some point. And it's funny because recently I was reading a couple things on TikTok that when I posted clips of Cody, a lot of people were commenting that he hires a comedian to write his jokes. He pays someone for all those funny random one-liners, and he even addressed it in a ride. He goes, y'all, there's a rumor going around I hired a comedian. That is so untrue. So he flat out denied it, but I thought it was just funny because I know Matty Majacomo for, his themed rides, his Christmas and Halloween ride. He actually had some comedians, come up with all his funny material that he sprinkled throughout his runs. So I don't know how that even got started with Cody, but he definitely took offense.
Yeah. So Will, some of the newer Peloton instructors got some spotlighting, John, and that was Rad Lopez. He was actually featured in an online article by Jezebel, introducing readers to the guy who eats bread and loves his mom. And I love that. What more could anyone ask for, right? A dude that eats bread and loves his mom. I have one of those, so I'm happy. I like to see that. So as we know, Rad had debuted as one of the newest strength instructors back in June. And the author of this article admitted it was love at first sight for her when she took Rad's first strength class. And she said she loved him until he requested to do way more burpees than necessary. Yeah. And then she had to debate whether her love could continue. So, folks, you can certainly head over to pelobuddy.com to learn more about Radishel. Oh, that's his real name, and he is very proud of it. So Rad's real name is Radishel, and he goes on to explain how he got it and the fact that he is very proud of it. So head over to pelobuddy.com to read the full article. He gets asked questions and recites back his answers, which is fun.
Very cool. Well, lastly, rounding out our instructors in the news, Jess Sims recently shared her 5 tips, 5 favorite pre and post ride stretches. This was on InStyle, And it was kind of a fun way to read this little brief article, because each stretch, it describes it, but each stretch then has almost like a little GIF.
You say GIF,
showing
I say
it,
GIF.
demonstrating it. GIF. I'm going to say GIF. I'm going to go with, I'm feeling
Go
GIF
with GIF
today. Each stretch has a GIF kind of showing it, in like a 2-second loop. So it's kind of nice to see that if you want to, practice it. Gives a nice little demonstration from Jess Sims. But she just goes on to stretching is so crucial for longevity. And I'm in complete agreement, because it definitely, like, if I don't stretch, especially after a run, like if I don't do a 5-minute post-run stretch, like everything is so tight the next day or that night. Like it really is super important, just like cooling down, like we've discussed, after
100%
a hard ride. But yeah, I'm definitely guilty of not doing them enough, especially after rides. But after runs, it's definitely, for me, it's a must.
Yeah, so it's interesting because after a ride, because it pops up, and you're on the bike, it's almost you feel guilty if you don't take one of those extra things that they tell you to, and obviously the stretches, the recommendations. Yeah. But being away and using the app, I was running and I wasn't stretching, so I walked and I power walked and ran the whole of last week. And when I did come back and get on the bike, I felt it. You're 100% right. So, good for Jess for putting that out there, because I do believe that it is a vital part of the platform. And I, try and newbies that, end up coming onto the platform, utilizing my code or asking me questions, I always say to them, don't listen to anybody but your body. And warm-ups, cool downs, and stretches are just part of what you do. It's part of what you do on the platform. So good for her.
It's just, it's just an extension of your workout. Just think
your workout. Exactly.
I have, this isn't part of my class picks, but Jess Sims has a 5-minute post-run stretch that is my absolute favorite, just for the movements that she does. But it's also the entire 5 minutes is basically just set to one song, and it's Bone Thugs Harmony doing Phil Collins' Home. And
wow.
So good. It is so, like, that song is great, but it's so good. Just stretch to it and relax. Yeah, it's probably her most recent one, if not one of her only 5-minute post-run stretches. But it's a good one. Definitely check it out.
Yeah. And I have to say, I definitely push myself. And if I have the time, I will jump on. Rebecca has 2 20-minute full body stretches, which are phenomenal. And I think I've spoken about them in my picks of the week in the past. And then Ben has as well, an amazing, he has quite a few actually full body stretches that are worth doing. Really, really worth doing. So, I guess that leads us onto our picks of the week.
Let's get right into them.
Absolutely. You go first? Yes, I'll go first. And yes, I know I'm boring. But seriously,
Leanne.
My first pick of the week is one not to be missed. It's Leanne's 30-minute 90s pop ride from Thursday, July the 22nd. And it was a party. There is no question that it was a party on the bike. The ride started out.
I was on that, right?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. It started out with Bewitched C'est La Vie, went on to Madonna's Vogue, Mambo No. 5, a little Elton, of course, with The Way You Look Tonight, and then Leanne's favorite, which some of you might not know, is Steps. She used to dance with Steps. It's a British band, and she played 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm not going to try and sing it, but it is truly one of my favorites. But it did end with my favorite, and I think maybe didn't end, but one of the songs was it was my favorite. And I think that's maybe why it's my pick of the week. But she played Ricky Martin's Livin' La Vida Loca. And she had actually on her Instagram the night before the ride had said, what are your favorite 90s pop songs? And I happened to have put that in. So of course I figured she put it into thing because I said it. I mean, it had to be right. I mean, no, but it truly was just a fun ride. It ended with a banger by Whitney. I Will Always Love You. And it truly was a fun ride, guys. So I know I'm boring, but that one, don't miss. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. My next pick is Ben's Tropical House Ride from July the 20th. Awesome collaboration of tracks just to get you in the holiday mood. And I felt like I was running on a beach in Ibiza. I couldn't say lying because it was a damn hard ride. So I can't say I felt like I was lying on the beach. I may have been running on the beach, but his collaboration of music is phenomenal, and he truly did a fantastic job in putting together songs that I was not familiar with, but made the ride go super fast. Ministry of Sound, yeah, he just has it. I mean, he's amazing. And then I ended up my week with a 5x10s. So just this past Friday, I did some 10 minutes low impacts and climb rides and that kind of, wanted to catch up on those. And I am going to shout out Sam Yo. Sam Yo did a low impact ride from Wednesday, July the 21st. And you know what, folks? How can you not love a ride when the instructor plays Elton John's Tiny Dancer to Bob Dylan's Knocking on Heaven's Door and ends with Eric Clapton's Wonderful Tonight? I mean, it was fantastic. And then I did want to highlight the Community Challenge Kickoff Meditation. And that was done by both Ross Rayburn and Chelsea Jackson Roberts. It was on Friday. It was just a quick 5-minute meditation, but it was wonderful. And we spoke about it earlier. I did do Ross's empathy meditation. So I do encourage you guys. It's a 20-minute, it is a 20-minute meditation, but it was fantastic. So those are my picks of the week.
Very nice. You got a nice little selection there. So I just have 2 this week. And I always love to throw a boot camp recommendation because I can't stress how important it is to incorporate some strength because I don't do it enough, and boot camps are just a great way to do that. So Selena Samuelo's 30-minute pop boot camp from Thursday, July 22nd is my first pick. Weights, medium, heavies on this one. Just fun playlist. Miley Cyrus. You also had a song from her alter ego, Ashley O, in there. Calvin Harris, Katy Perry, Alia. Just great, workout on the floor and running on the tread. And then I just randomly I was looking at the live schedule the other day, and Robin Arzon randomly on a Thursday morning at 11:30 had a 45-minute hip hop ride. So I jumped. I was all over. It was like so random on a Thursday morning that late in the day to do a 45-minute live class, but like, thank you. There's never enough 45-minute or longer live classes during the week, unless it's at 6 a.m. or 8. But that one was great because she played like all the 90s hip hop classics. So you had Biz Markie, you had Naughty by Nature, OPP, Sir Mix-a-Lot, DJ Cool, Digital Underground, just wall-to-wall hip hop hits that and love, from the radio days, hip hop radio. So super fun class with Robin. I can't remember last time I did a live 45-minute class with her, but that was a nice surprise to see on the schedule. So those are my 2 picks: the 45-minute hip hop ride from Thursday, the 22nd with Robin, and the 30-minute pop boot camp with Selena from the 22nd.
Fantastic. Yeah. So folks, let us know if you had any that we missed and that were really ones to do. Make sure that you comment and let us know, because we always like to know what you guys are doing, and maybe we miss things out there as well. So yeah, John, well, I know we ended up making what could have been a short show into a long show. Hopefully you guys stuck with us.
I think we made what was actually a long show a little longer with how much we had to cover this week.
We did.
But
have
we
to
had
cover
good.
a lot.
I'm happy with the banter this week.
Good.
We
Will
had
you
some
go
good
back and
side
watch it?
conversation.
Will you go back and watch it, John?
Maybe.
You're too funny. You're too funny. Well, folks, yeah, that pretty much wraps up this week's episode. There was a ton to share with you. We do not have an interview this week, but we hope to have something maybe for you next week. But for all of you out there, hope you have a fantastic week on the bike, on the tread, on the platform. And I guess, yeah, from me here in Maryland, bye for now, everybody.
Yep. And as always, we will see you on the leaderboard, and bye for now from Michigan.
Thank you for watching Pelo Buddy TV, your source for everything Peloton, by the community, for the community. Work out with us using the Pelo Buddy TV leaderboard tag, and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Pelo Buddy. Don't forget that we have a podcast available so that you can listen to us while on the move. Just search for Pelo Buddy TV on any major platform and hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode.